Belle Gunness was a Norwegian immigrant. She arrived in America in 1881. Belle seemed like an ordinary woman. She was hardworking and determined to build a good life. She married Mads Sorensen in 1884. They settled in Chicago. To all who knew her, Belle was a devoted wife and mother. She was just trying to make her way in a new country. However, a darker truth lurked beneath the surface. Belle's life was touched by tragedy early on. Her first husband, Mads, died under mysterious circumstances. He had taken out 2 life insurance policies shortly before his death. This seemed like a terrible stroke of bad luck for Belle. She collected the insurance money. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough to keep her afloat. Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of a chilling pattern. Belle remarried in 1901. Her new husband was Peter Gunness. He was a recent widower. Tragedy struck again less than a year later. Peter died in a freak accident. A meat grinder fell on him, crushing his skull. The police ruled it an accident. Belle, once again a widow, collected on his life insurance policy. These early deaths raised eyebrows, but there was no evidence to suggest foul play. Belle Gunness was a woman who seemed followed by misfortune, or was she? Over the next few years, more people connected to Belle died. These included her adopted daughter, Jenny. Jenny died of a supposed illness. Several handymen also died while working on her property. Each death brought Belle an insurance payout. Whispers about her started to circulate. Was Belle truly unlucky, or was something more sinister at play? Despite the growing suspicions, Belle continued to live her life. She even placed personal ads in newspapers. She was seeking a husband. Lonely hearts from all over responded. They were drawn to her charm and her letters. Many of these men visited Belle at her farmhouse. None of them were ever seen alive again. Neighbors began to notice strange things happening at the Gunness farm. They saw Belle working in her garden late at night. She was digging deep trenches. The smell of decay hung heavy in the air. Still, no one could have imagined the horrifying truth that lay buried beneath the surface. Belle's life was a tangled web of deceit. She was a master manipulator. She preyed on vulnerable men. They were blinded by her charm. They never suspected they were walking into a deadly trap. In 1908, a fire engulfed Belle Gunness's farmhouse. The blaze was massive. It reduced the building to ashes. Among the charred debris, authorities made a gruesome discovery. They found the bodies of Belle's 3 children. They also found the headless body of a woman. The authorities initially believed the woman's body to be Belle's. They suspected her farmhand, Ray Lamphere, of setting the fire and murdering her. Lamphere had been romantically involved with Belle. He had been spurned by her. He became a prime suspect. However, as investigators dug deeper, doubts began to emerge. The headless body was much smaller than Belle's. Dental records didn't match. Had Belle staged her own death? Had she used the fire as a cover-up for her crimes? The more they investigated, the more convinced they became that Belle Gunness was still alive. Ray Lamphere was put on trial for the murder of Belle Gunness and her children. He maintained his innocence. He claimed that Belle was still alive. Lamphere told the court that the woman in the fire was not Belle. He said it was a carefully planned deception. He insisted that Belle had chosen a victim to impersonate her. The prosecution scoffed at Lamphere's claims. They argued that he was a jealous lover. They said he had murdered Belle in a fit of rage. The jury ultimately acquitted Lamphere of murder. However, they did convict him of arson. He was sentenced to prison. Despite the lack of a murder conviction, the suspicion surrounding Belle Gunness never faded. She was officially declared dead, but rumors persisted that she had escaped. Some people claimed to have seen her in other parts of the country. The mystery of Belle Gunness remains unsolved to this day. Did she die in the fire, or did she manage to outwit the authorities and disappear? The truth, like Belle herself, remains elusive. She has become a chilling reminder that some mysteries are never truly solved.